Okay. Hello. Hi, it's been a while since I've made a video and I just thought it was time for a little catch-up video. So it's just gonna be a chatty video, nothing interesting. If for some weird reason you're here because of the algorithm and you don't know me or follow my channel, please go away. This is not for you. This is just gonna be a very boring update. I just really felt like making a bit of a chatty video update because I haven't made many videos this year, especially for the last few months, and I am going to make more videos in the future, and I just thought like let's catch up and talk about the future videos and my intentions, I think, of the channel, and also like how I've been and why there haven't been many videos online. If you need like a little recap, my name is Angelica. I am a 30-something-year-old, 37, and I live in the Netherlands. So I started this channel with mostly little vlogs in Dutch, I believe. More like artist vlogs, that kind of thing. And then accidentally I made like this video about sewing, about my makes of that year that blew up, and for some reason I turned into a sewing channel, but that was never the intention. I haven't made any sewing videos for the last year, so as you can imagine I am not considering myself a sewing channel. I consider my channel more of a do-it-yourself, make ugly things, you know, thrift things, be creative, that kind of channel. More like a DIY channel, I would say, maybe a bit more of the artist vlogs. Basically, I really want to encourage people to make things, and I hope to do that by showing my things and things that inspire me and my art and the art that I make. And also want to show that you can also make imperfect, ugly art and it still counts. It's all about the process, about the journey. Yeah, and I think that's what really keeps me making videos overall, even though I don't make many videos. So that's basically my channel in short. One of those inspirations is my garden that I have now for a year. I moved into this plant keeps bugging me. Yeah, I've been in this house for a little over a year now, and I finally have a garden, and I've always been really inspired by plants, flowers, that kind of thing. They've always been a huge source of inspiration in my art, but also my photography, like my self-portraits and just photography in general. My main job is being a wedding photographer, so I just had my busiest month of the year. Still a little stressed, but you know, I'm honestly procrastinating by making this video. Don't tell anyone, but more on that later. I've made like a little list, but I already feel like it's going to be all over the place. So maybe just see this more as a podcast and get yourself a cup of tea and get cozy and maybe do something like sketch or knit something or whatever you like to do. That's all fine. You don't have to look at my face. That's not important at all. So I'm going to talk about a few subjects in this video. And those are like the garden, of course, sewing content. Well, I basically already said enough about that. I'm not really making sewing content anymore. But inspiration, my future travel plans. Not going to talk too much about that, but there are going to be travel videos. I got a grant as well. I'm going to talk a bit about that, and no, that's about it. So first thing first, sewing content. Yeah, I don't think that's really gonna happen anymore. I don't really sew at home anymore. I'm currently having sewing lessons, which is quite fun. I do that once a week, and even though I'm not really learning a lot of things, it's just nice to get out of the house, because that's one big thing. I'm a freelancer, I live alone, I have no relationship, I have no co-workers except for at the printmaking studio, where I not only print, but that sounds so weird, but I also work for the social media content. I make content for like a few hours a week literally like 3 hours a week, so it's not much. I do have some coworkers over there, which is amazing to have coworkers, but I only see them like 3 hours a week and when I volunteer. So it's basically I live alone and I work alone, and I'm alone a lot, which is fine because I'm a loner. But it also can get quite lonely. So I'm really happy to get out of the house every week and go to my sewing class. I'm not really sewing at home, and I am not going to film at sewing class, of course, because there are other people there and it's just weird. I'm currently working on the Blanca flight suit in green. I bought that fabric in February, so it's been a long time coming, but I'm making another one. Very excited about that. But yeah, no sewing content, I think, in a while. Maybe in the future with like printmaking, screen printing and whatever. But for now, not so much. And if you are, feel free to unsubscribe, I guess. Honestly, yeah, it's not coming anymore. I don't think I'm gonna make a what I made in 2025 video even, because that's gonna be like 3 pieces. Yeah, something else exciting is travel. I'm finally going to travel again, which is also quite a silly thing to say because I do travel. But when I wasn't a freelancer, but I just worked like as a barista, I for some reason had less money and less flexible times, but I traveled a lot more, which is a bit weird. But ever since I've been a freelancer, especially since I've been a full-time freelancer, I find it really hard to take time off. Even though I'm not always working, I don't even work that much, honestly. So I've been saving up money, and I'm just really afraid of spending money, because what if I need it? But I can go on a big holiday and still have money left, you know? So, but I'm finally going to travel later this year, and it's gonna be, it's giving me anxiety to talk about, to be honest, because I'm always really afraid that either it's not going to continue, like there's something going to happen that just makes it impossible to travel, or people are gonna rob my home. Yeah, I'm a little superstitious, I guess, or maybe just a little anxious when it comes to that kind of thing. I think I'm just really stressed and excited about travel plans. I would say I'm going to Korea and Japan. I've been to Japan before, and then I'm going to combine it with Korea, which is very exciting. It's gonna be my biggest travel plans for like the last 9 years. And 9 years ago I went to Japan. I haven't been on really big holiday, I've only been like to Europe or like a week to New York. So it's very exciting, but also a little bit stressful, especially because I still need to book a few things. But I'm definitely going to make videos about that. And I think I'm also going to make prints of my travels, so that's going to be more videos, but it's going to be about printmaking again. Yeah, so very excited about that, and yeah, it's gonna be good. So another exciting thing, talking about printmaking, I applied to a grant earlier this month, September, and I got it. So that means I got money to spend on developing as an artist. And in my case, I decided to spend it on printmaking techniques and developing my printmaking skills, especially with the 3D printing, resale printing and screen printing. I always say print screening, but it's on the computer. Screen printing. I have never properly screen printed, so that's something I want to learn. That's a project I'm gonna start in the new year, but one of the it's Monday morning, bear with me. Voorwaarden. Is dat toch ook alweer? Conditions. Of course. Oh. So one of the conditions of the grant is that you have to make a presentation of it, like maybe a exhibition or a book or whatever, and I chose to make like a zine. So that's where the resale printer comes in, and also a presentation in the form of videos. So short videos on the techniques. So basically what I've been doing here, but then for the project. So those will be next year as well. But that will be, the project will just start later in the year. But that will be, I think, around May or something, so later on. Maybe I might make some progress videos. I am absolutely unsure. But yeah, but I'm very, very excited. It is a bit of a hassle when it comes to taxes and everything. But it's kind of weird to just get money to make things. But of course you have to spend a lot of time on it and make videos and presentations and stuff, so it's not entirely free. Because I don't get paid for the hours I make, I only get paid for the costs I make. But it is, I think, quite a good amount of money, so I am very excited to explore also my role as an artist, because I'm more of a commercial photographer. I work for clients, and this way I'm gonna see if I can become more of a fine art photographer, I guess, that kind of thing. And combine it with illustrations and just explore that kind of fine arts part of myself. Not sure if fine art is the correct term. In Dutch we call it autonoom. But it's very exciting. And the last part I want to talk about, I think, is the garden. Yeah, I haven't done much with the garden. I had really planned to make another video after summer, or at the height of summer, because I made a video about like my garden in 1 year, and I thought it would look so great in summer, but it didn't, because we had such a dry summer. In the Netherlands, like in Spain, it's been floods, and here we have droughts. It was horrible. The garden now looks better than it did all summer, because we have had lots of rain for the last month, and things are blooming again, and yeah. It looked so crappy. I really didn't like working on a garden as well, because it just looked like shit. It's just, yeah. So that has been a demotivating project, and I also have my front yard that I still haven't worked on. And it looks a bit crappy. I feel sad, but I just didn't feel any motivation this summer. I'm gonna be honest, like for anything. For not like even in my work as a photographer, so wedding photographer, I have to admit that I kind of let things slip a bit. Nothing too bad, but like, you know, I totally forgot about things, or I was very, very lethargic. And not really not depressed or anything. I just didn't feel any motivation for anything. So not for making art, not for illustrating, not for gardening, not for sewing, not for photography. It's just, I don't know what happened. It just wasn't there. And I usually thrive more in winter and autumn when it comes to making art. But last year I felt so motivated to work in the garden, and now I'm like, oh yeah, I need to order some bulbs for spring. I need to order my tulips, you know, because I want to make art with my tulips. Yeah, I don't know. My dad did make me a border, I guess, so I have more plants, and it's been I've been a lot of flowers, and it's been very green, and the veggie patch has been doing okay. Not great, but okay. I've learned quite a bit of few things, which is fun. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit demotivated with the garden. I just don't like how it looks like. I feel like it needs more new design and like new tiles and anything. But it's like a council house, and I don't have that much money, and I don't really feel comfortable spending a lot of money on this garden when it comes to like new tiles and everything, new pavement, that kind of thing, hiring people to make that work for me. Yeah, so I'm a bit stuck with the garden right now, but I have to admit it has been blooming very nicely, so it's not too bad. And I know people have way worse gardens than I have, but sometimes my garden is quite big for a council house, so it feels a bit overwhelming at times, I guess. It's not huge, but it is huge for a house in a city, I guess. But fun fact, the hedgehog has been visiting once again. yesterday he even came by, but I do have like a sensor lamp on my shed, and it always goes off. It's quite a long story, technically complicated, but the sensor is downwards and I can't position it upwards, so it goes off like when a cat comes by, but also when the hedgehog comes by. But yesterday he was terrified. I could see the light go on, and I'm like, oh, is that gonna be the hedgehog? And it was him, but he was still afraid of the light coming on, and I could only just see his little bum like scrolling away. Like, no. So that's a little sad. So I'm trying to make a way that the sensor isn't going off when something small like a hedgehog or a cat walks underneath it, because I don't want my hedgehog to go away and be afraid of the light. He has to be in my garden. That's like my number one garden goal, is to have a hedgehog. That's been my TED Talk / podcast, whatever. This plant keeps bugging me. I think this is it. It's now Monday morning, and I really need to do a few things, like making albums for my clients. I still need to edit a ton of wedding pictures. I need to book some things for Japan still. I'm stressed, honestly, but I think I'm just gonna go and edit this video in the afternoon and post it, because whatever. Procrastination is my number one force, I guess, my number one strength. If it's one thing I'm good at, it's procrastinating. Those are my plans for this channel, and I hope to make more garden videos next year when the garden is gardening again. I have to say, it's still looking good right now. It's greener than ever because of the rain. It's just been a really hard year for the garden, and I think there are going to be lots and lots of hard years for the garden with the climate change and everything. But yeah, it is what it is. Those are my plans. Please follow me on Instagram and whatever if you want to keep on top of everything else I'm doing. I'm posting my videos there, like small reels and pictures of my printmaking and garden and stuff like that. Yeah, talk to you later, I guess. Anyway, thanks for listening to this rant, and goodbye.